Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's devotional, Better Together. I pray that everyone has had an amazing day and is having a great evening along with everything. Now, just know that we've had some notifications about some of the comments not coming through. So trust me, if I don't see your comment and you've commented, I will, like I normally do, I will go ahead and, comment after the live. Hi, Sister Marilyn, how are you? So that's good. I think we got everybody, so I'm grateful. So again, thanks for joining us this evening for our nightly devotional, Better Together. This devotional is based on Rick Warren's book, Better Together, establishing lasting and loving relationships. And tonight's topic is we're talking about tell others your great God story. And so I am so excited about tonight's topic because this is an opportunity to begin to really tell your story. Tell what God has done for you and how through him you can show your love, how through him you were able to get through some things. And that is all still a part about being relationship. It's about community. It's about, being with one another. And it's being transparent about your ups and downs and your trials and your tribulations. Now, today's scripture text is coming from Acts, the 1st chapter and the 8th verse. And I will be reading the King James version of that particular scripture. And it says, "But ye shall receive power. After that, the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and ye shall be witness unto me both in Jerusalem and in all of Judea and in Samaria and unto the utmost parts of the earth." Again, we were here, we were made, we were built so that we can, commune and tell people of the goodness that God has for us. Isn't that awesome? The most effective way to let people know about the great things that God, can do in their lives is to tell them the story of what God has done for you in your life. That's what makes the difference. We can go and we can say, I saw God do this and I saw God do that. What did he do for you? How did he change your life? How did he get you onto a right path? How is it when you were at your lowest point? What did he do to bring you out and you're here in this place now? I think I'm very open and transparent about the things that has happened in my life and where there's times that I do have, feel depressed and I am angry, I am upset and I am disappointed. But God has always been there to show me that he can get me through all of these things. And no matter what, even when I fall, when I stumble, when I act a plumby fool, he still loves me. That in spite of my faults and in spite of my flaws, he is still striving to use me to build up my purpose so that I can be the light to bring people towards him. And that is what that is all about, so that you can tell your ultimate story to others so that they can see Christ through you. They can see the light through you. They may be able to, relate to your story. They may have seen an aunt go through something or a cousin go through something or an uncle go through something and they may not have made it out, but then they can see how, it can happen through you. So we're all a walking testament to what God has in store for us. Just like I said, I read Acts 1 and 8, and it says we're witnesses to telling people about God everywhere. When I hear the word witness, I think of a courtroom. It's the perfect picture of what God is asking us to do to make a difference in the world. He doesn't tell us to be the attorney arguing the case. He doesn't tell us to be the judge, judging other people. He wants us to be his witness. So many times we go into situations, and many of us grew up in situations in ministries and in church where we always felt judged. Someone was always arguing their point, and we never really felt that it was comfortable enough to witness about what God had done for us and through us, because it was always competition. That is not how God operates, and that's not godly. He wants us to be the witness. We don't have to be the judge. He's the judge and the jury. We don't have to argue anything. Jesus dying on the cross did all the arguing for us. His blood argues every time. Because every time the Father sees us, he sees his Son. He sees his blood. And that's all the arguing that needs to be done. We don't have to do any type of arguing. So let's leave the arguing and the judging to where it belongs. But let's think about, what does a witness do? A witness just says, here's what I've seen, here's what I heard. A witness just tells other people the story of what God has done in their life. They tell by their experience how they've gone through, what they've gone through, what they're doing. No one else is. So I can't tell your story. You can't tell my story. And so if we are always so closed about telling what God has done for us, and then we'll say, well, people don't understand that, God is still in the miracle business, and he's still healing, and he's still whatever. Well, we're not talking about it. Because when I tell you he is a mind regulator, he's a mind regulator. And so you'd be like, how? Because when was it, about 2.5, maybe 3.5 years ago, when I finally went through my counseling and to go through the healing process of it, and the therapist and the counselor, they were doing my intake, and was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, clinical depression. And it was just like, okay. And I know many people who frown upon me sharing that, because it's still a taboo type of thing. People don't want to talk about it. However, I am open, and I talk about it daily, because it is the grace of God that keeps my mind regulated. It is the grace of God that hasn't had my mind go do things that sometimes that it just wants to do. It's the grace of God that when I feel at my lowest, he's there to smile and hug and love on me, to tell me that I'm worthy, that I'm wanted, that I'm needed. So he is a constant mind regulator for me. And I'm grateful. I don't have to take any medicine at all. And that's not to say that that's not everyone's story. Some people may need to take medication because of irregularities in how the hormones work. Everyone is different. But God is still working in that. Who do you think God has given the insight and the knowledge to, for someone to want to go study how the brain operates and be able to create, drugs to help it, regulate and monitor, to get it back to a place where somebody can function? They didn't just wake up one day. It was a gift. It was a talent that was birthed in them by Christ. And he helped you. What you do, you go to med school. Just like attorneys, just like, doctors, just like engineers, just like accountants. We all have unique and special gifts and talents. Now, our talents are the things that we, grow upon. We work, we get them in line. We, go to school for, we study. Our gifts, somebody's gift can be, they can sing you up and down, whatever. Or they can pray for you. Or when they lay hands on you, God is moving. We are all unique and we're all different, but we have to begin to share how God is using us, share how he is healing us, share how he is maintaining and keeping us. Because there's a lot of people out there who don't think that God is out there. There's a lot of people who think that he's a genie, that they're supposed to just rub on this thing or just pray instantly and he's supposed to deliver. And that's not it. It's about relationship. It's about being in covenant. It is about, really seeking him and doing this day to day. And no, I'm not going to say, oh, it's not easy. It's tough. That's a given. The minute you decide to go and conform with what God needs you to conform with, to walk in your purpose, oh, the enemy's coming because now he's mad because he thought he had you. I say this a lot, and I used to tell the enemy a lot, you should have got me when I was really out there in those streets. Like when I was really out there thugging and doing and craziness. That's when you should have took me out. That's when you should have did whatever you could do to get whatever. But now that I know better, and not only know better, I've made a conscious effort that I am going to do better, that I'm going to serve him, that I am going to do what he needs me to do and wants me to do. It's a wrap. You can try to mess with my finances, try to mess with my mind, try to mess with my home life. You can do all those things. You can drop anything, whatever, but I'm still resilient on the fact that I am serving the one, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can trust me. Your job is drama. He's good at that. He's going to bring it. He's going to create it. He's going to do whatever he can to get you to not tell your story, to get you to keep quiet so that you don't bless the other person. So now that person is sitting in limbo because they don't know that God can work it out for them. And then two, we don't share our story because we don't feel that we're perfect. And I say it all the time. We're not going to be perfect until we leave this earth. Until we leave this earth, we are not going to be perfect. We're striving for it. So if someone tells you that you have to be perfect to serve God, then you need to run from them. If someone tells you that you have to be perfect, tell them to point out in the Bible. Where? Because just about a couple of weeks ago, we talked about 6 people who ain't nowhere near perfect when God decided to use them to build the kingdom. So don't go with that myth that you have to be perfect to share your story, or you have to be where God wants you to be before you share your story. No, somebody needs to know that, see the trials and the tribulations. Somebody needs to see that you on your face to God, at any given point. Somebody needs to see you at your lowest so they can see God rise you to your highest. So they know who you serve. So you can't keep hiding saying, well, I'm not all together. Yeah. Oh, we're never going to be all together. If you have some special magic potion that we're supposed to be all together, let me know what that is. Just let me know what that is. So, and when we're talking about, think about it. Friends don't keep good stuff from friends. Friends don't keep good stuff from friends. Come on. Okay, so I'm a foodie. So if I done got, and one of my other foodies is on here. So if I done found a brand new recipe and it is banging, what am I going to do? I'm going to tell her. I'll be like, girl, you need to make this. That's the same thing. Why is it we'll share the latest recipe, the best movie, the newest wine, but we won't share God. We won't share about the one who allows us to wake up every morning. And for many of us, we are clothed in our right minds. We have the activity of our limbs. We can see, but we're not sharing him. So, do we love our friends the way we say we do? Because if you do, you would want them to know about this person who, when you was at your lowest, when you didn't think you was worth anything, and he made you better than what you came out as, that he is, the light is just shining through you. And again, I'm going to say this. It is not that you don't have mistakes. It is not that you don't go through trials and tribulations. It is not that, you don't have your slip ups. You don't stay. It's called repenting, and you don't keep doing it over. That's the thing. You're going to have things happen. You're going to slip up, but you can't continue to stay there and be like, okay, well, I messed up the first time, so therefore I can just continue to mess up. That is why we got to share our stories. That is why we got to be transparent and telling people the things that we go through, because so many children right now are out there. Some young people are out there thinking that because they messed up when they were 11, they'll never be anything, because they've been browbeaten to believe that because they made that one mistake, they'll never be nothing. If God did us the way we do each other sometimes and the way we do other people, where would we be? We have to start telling people. And my favorite thing that I would hear parents say to, or parents or older people say to younger people, oh, I don't want to see, I'm just trying to prevent you from making the same mistakes I made. Well, what were the mistakes? How can we not make them if you're not willing to share what your trial was? And yes, we live in a different age. Let's stop using that. Yes, we live in different times and circumstances, but we all go through the exact same problem. But it's those times and circumstances, how those problems are magnified. Think about now, children can't even do simple children stuff. Because listen, if we had social media when we were coming up, we would all be underneath the jail. Underneath, like real deep underneath. So we have to start being transparent and sharing our stories of where God has taken us and the process that he has taken us through, so that somebody else can know that, you know what, I may have messed up, but look at this Juanita. Look at Minister Peterson. They were able to make it to something better. They didn't stay where their mistake was. I can do better. So we have to share it, just like we share the new up and coming movie, the new up and coming restaurant. We have to share Christ. And see, I know sometimes, we may be unsure of how to start, because many of us may be, I don't know, I don't want to talk to people. How do I even do this? Look, it's a simple action step. Write out your story. Here we go. Journal time. Journal. Write out your story. The first time that I really, really shared my story was I wrote some type of essay, and I shared it before I ever physically told it. And see, you can be in a small group. You can be on a platform in which you can share it. You can share it on your Facebook page. Simple. Simple as that. Write it out. And see, you'll be surprised how many people can relate. How many people are touched? How many people now no longer feel alone because someone else has made it through what they're going through right now, and they can see that there's hope at the end of that tunnel. Isn't that awesome? Start sharing it to people who are close to you. Because even though people know you, even though you and your cousin are Ace Boon Coon, they may not really know your story. 9 times out of 10, they don't. So share it with a good friend, share it with a relative, share it with someone that you're close with, so that when you begin to share it, when God gives you the opportunity to share it with somebody that's a complete stranger at an opportune time, y'all could be at a networking event, y'all could be at a Bible study, a church, group, whatever it is, you won't feel apprehensive about sharing it. And once you begin to get some practice and get the little confidence up, because trust me, when I tell you, it wasn't for me to do this, what we're doing right now. It took practice. It took preparation. And so now it flows easily, but in the beginning it didn't, because it was just like, well, you want me to do what? I remember the first live I've ever did. I remember the first telesummit that I ever did, and it was easy to do it, over a phone, because people wasn't looking at you. I remember the first event in which I did it standing in front of people, telling my story. And trust me, I was scared, but it was an accomplishment. And as I was doing more and more telesummits, and then I was writing, in my blogs, and as I began to share more and more and more, so then it came to Viola's Daughter. Then it came to the show. Then it came to just even our nightly devotionals, just sharing what God has done. So it is a progression. You can do it. It's not going to happen overnight, but it does take practice. It does take practice. You think about it. When we learned how to ride those bikes, we didn't just jump on and was able to ride the bike. We had a few skinned knees, broken, bike chains sometime. Thought we done tore up the wheel of the bike. And for some of us, we may have had training wheels. But after practice and continued effort, we was able to do it without the training wheels. We was able to do it without falling and crashing. We was able to break, sit and talk to our friends and start back up again. But it takes practice. It takes practice. And as you practice, God is going to open up and give you the opportunity to share your story with those who needs to hear it. And that is the amazing thing. He's going to always see, when you begin to pray for an opportunity, and God is always going to show up with it. When you prepare, He's going to always show up with it. Psalms 66:16 says, "Come and hear, all ye that fear God, and I will declare what He has done for my soul." And in the New Living Translation, it says, "Come and listen, all who fear God, and I will tell you what He did for me." Who in your life needs to hear about what God has done for you? Start there. Because when you start there, it will definitely open up many doors, give you more opportunities. And you'll be able to see how your story can help somebody else. Just like that. So I want to thank you for joining us this evening for Better Together. Tell others your great God story. Oh my goodness. So if you're not a part of our group on Facebook, you can come on. You can find us at YV Daily Devotionals. That is Y as in yellow, V as in Victor, Daily Devotionals. We have a lot of extra bonus content along with this particular devotional that we're working on. We have some additional commentary from Pastor Warren regarding the lessons, and we will be uploading the rest of those this weekend into the group. So come on and join us and get access to that lovely content so that you can better grow and understand how building relationships together, we can really show God, and we can really, let people see God through us, because we do need one another to do this without a shadow of a doubt. Want you to keep Minister Peterson lifted in prayer. She has the book launch is coming in a couple of weeks. We'll be doing some interviews and whatever. So she is very busy. Look to have her on in about another couple of weeks after she goes through her interview process with the authors. So, she will be back on soon, but keep her lifted in prayer as well. Also, if you have any prayer requests or praise reports, we definitely want to know what those are. We want to celebrate with you. We want to pray with you. Myself and Minister Peterson are praying daily for you. So just know that whatever you're asking for, we are seeking God for you daily. Even if you don't ask for it, we're still seeking God for you daily. So definitely put your prayer requests and your praise reports in the thing. Let me also we do have a link for prayer requests and praise reports, so that, if you don't want to leave it out in the comments, that is perfectly okay, but we appreciate you so much. Now, we'll be back here Monday at 8 p.m. at this location. I want you guys to have a wonderfully blessed weekend. It's a weekend, have fun. For those who are football, I'm Eagles girl. So if it's football, but enjoy family, enjoy friends, and furthermore, just let God be seen through you. Lord, I love you. Be blessed. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I will see you Monday at 8 p.m. Love you guys so very much. Good night.